Hello everyone, welcome back to The Homegrown Artist. My mother and I harvested quite a lot of my Tulsi Basil, gave it a nice little haircut. It was blooming like crazy, and I wanted to make sure that it would continue to grow, so we gave it a nice haircut, got all of the blooms off, and got a bunch of leaves to process as well. I managed to get a lot of that done immediately after we harvested, so that's some of the freshest things, but unfortunately I was not able to get it all done that day and have not had a chance to attend to it since then. It is a few days later. It has been in the fridge. It is still somewhat fresh, but you can see some of the leaves are a little bit discolored. That doesn't mean they're bad. There are some that I'm not going to use, so I'm not going to have the full harvest that I would have had I been able to fully process and get finished with it the day of harvesting, but that is a-okay. There are some of the leaves that are just very wilty, so I am sort of assessing that. You see, but a lot of these are fresh. I'm assessing that as I get to it. This has been quite a busy week, harvest and preserve wise. You can see we have a full table of tomatoes behind me. This and one of our other harvests of tomatoes that we already processed. It was almost about 200 tomatoes that we turned into a delicious basil vegetable soup. They came from one of my grandmother's friends who had an overabundance of tomatoes because he has early tomatoes, and so it's nearing the end of his season, and so he was just like, come on, pick whatever you can pick, you can keep, just take them, please. Apparently, I'm allergic to exercise. I'm either allergic to exercise or sweating, which is a joke that I have made in years past, but now I'm kind of eating my words. I decided to do a workout yesterday morning, 15-minute workout. Immediately after I finish the workout, I noticed that I am like super itchy, particularly on like my shoulders, my upper chest, and then like right in my midriff area. Take a look and check it out, and I am covered in these big, like irritated mosquito bite looking hives all over, and like these little dots. Also on my back, I, of course, am baffled and start freaking out just a little bit because in previous experience, when I do get hot or like when I sweat, I'll have like little itchy bumps pop up, but I thought that just happened to everyone. I thought that was normal. Okay, so all that I can find is in some people, particularly ones that have issues with like eczema and some other skin issues, autoimmune things like that, but some people have this thing where when their body temperature gets elevated and they start to sweat, something is triggered that releases histamine and causes an allergic reaction. What I have been doing yesterday and today after that happened is I have been drinking nettle tea, not overdoing it, but nettles do have a natural antihistamine, like stinging nettle, and so I have been making myself some tea. If any of y'all have ever heard of anything like that or experienced anything like that, please let me know. I'm going to stop talking because I work a lot faster when I'm not talking, so
Carry in our kitchens. Herbs and spices have been tossed, pinched, and dashed into simmering pots and pans across the world from time immemorial. The kitchen spices mentioned above are but a few examples of aromatic herbs. Many of these plants owe their inviting aromas and flavors to their volatile oil content. In the United States, Elias Haskett Darby made his fortune in the 18th century.
This has taken monumentally longer than I had anticipated. I took a couple of breaks because I needed to eat lunch and get some laundry done. But it's incredibly tedious, and it would not have been as tedious had I done it as soon as I'd harvested, but things happened as they did. So I'm working with what I have now. I oscillated between using my herb stripper and then sorting through the leaves, or just doing it this way. I honestly don't know what would be faster. Part of the reason I'm not using the herb stripper is because I can't find it. This is a significantly smaller pile than I had at the very beginning. I have a lot more actually in the bowl. What I'm gonna do when I'm done is wash them and then spin them in my salad spinner to get a lot of the excess water off. The closer I get to the bottom, the grosser the leaves are. So that may move faster once I get down to where the leaves are a lot more soggy and not necessarily usable. Oh, this has good leaves. Yay. This is still such a big pile. It feels like I've done absolutely nothing, but I have gotten this much, which I mean, it looks like it's a lot now. At least I've gotten something a little done. I do like seeing that the bowl is almost full.
Within the bow shot range.
Oh.
Looking straight at me. He says, I see you.
When you're working with herbs that aren't super fresh or were picked a few days ago, the best way to know if they're still good is by how they look, smell, and feel. If they're not slimy and gross and they still have a good smell, even if they're a little discolored or brown, they're generally still pretty good to use. The potency does go down the longer that they sit without being preserved or dehydrated or dried in some way, but they're still usable. Alright friends, so it is done. I decided to just go ahead and use all the leaves for the tincture rather than drying some, because I will get more. It's still growing. It's all set and ready to sit for 4 to 6 weeks. Some people do wait as little as 3 weeks. I think if you're in a hurry and you need it urgently, it's going to get stronger the more that it sits. I made sure to put a label, which is something I'm very bad about doing. I think, oh, I'll do that later, and then I never do, so I don't know what I've gotten until I strain it. And I also forget how long it's been sitting in its mixture. So I have the name, I have what exactly is in here with the Tulsi leaf and the 100 proof vodka, then I have the date to remember when I did it and see how long until it's ready. And other than that, it just sits. You shake it once a day and then you strain it up and it's ready to be used. So thank you so much for coming along with me. I cannot wait to get this fully processed in a couple weeks, and I hope to bring you along for that process. Thank you so much for watching. I can't wait to see you in the next video. Bye bye.